Welcome, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hand. Our coterie, Dead Man's Hand, had last time been running a few errands that were much needed amongst the domain. Getting to know some of the domain dwellers, getting to know the lay of the land, understanding how information flows, to where and why, and who might be prone to causing trouble. They met a few individuals from the domain. They have met the local hound, Raphael. They have met the few thin bloods who Kane might know. They've also met a man from Canada who seems to have taken up a sort of protective stance over the kindred of this domain, as downtrodden as they might be. Kind of serves as the go-between, in some cases, between the Camarilla Primogen and the rest. But now that the Camarilla Primogen has disappeared and the Dead Man's Hand coterie is serving instead, well, that's going to be a group of 4 individuals instead of just one to report to, as it were. And so, on this new night, Dead Man's Hand is again looking to find out more about this domain that they have been commanded to preside over as Primogen. Young as they might be, that job is usually carried out by one singular elder. But these 4 possibly don't even have the resources to complete the job to task. They're really just waiting for the next person to get dumped in so they could leave. But they have duties to perform beforehand. So, with that being said, we start off this new night with some thoughts. Kane, you have some thoughts going into tonight. You have some plans, don't you?
Well, about as best as I can figure. We met some of the players. I'm going to keep going and beating the streets. See where people are at. See what the general mood is. I can't take one person's word for it. I gotta do my due diligence. I'll check some of my usual haunts that I know where people hang out. See what I can beat up and see what people are thinking. Let people know that we're out here. You know, that they may have been used to how things were one way, but things definitely won't be working the same. I don't know if the rest actually give a shit, but I take things that I do very serious.
As you have been trained. Many La Sombra don't do things half-assed, and you're certainly amongst those. If you're going to do it well. And if you're going to do it well, do it perfect. And with purpose. Which brings us to Anna. Anna, a new night is rising. The moon rises as the sun sets. You have little things that go on for you, don't you?
Little things. I don't really know if I'm doing anything. The only thing that I'm noticing is everyone around me has already begun their mobilization. They know how to talk to others, they know how to interact. I just feel like I'm going to soon be in the way. It's only a matter of time. I'm talking with Shriek about it. I just wanted to know, how does he keep his head so cool through everything? How does he know precisely what to do? Isn't worried about back talking? Isn't worried about lying or anything? At what point does he decide that paranoia has its limits? He says he stays close, but stays close to humans, but always just barely out of distance, always just in the shadows. And I guess maybe that's what I need to do and be from now on. Just a shadow. It makes me think of word, sacrifice. To give up something good for something greater. At least that's what they say. But in truth, it's just a lie people tell themselves so they can feel like martyrs while they destroy everything around them. I would know all about that. And it's a lie I keep having to tell myself. Over and over again. Over and over.
It doesn't help that the voices in your head sometimes reiterate these things over and over again, even beyond your own thoughts. Telling you one thing or something else. Go this way or that way. The complex sensitivity to the voices that you struggle with. But there's another who lurks in the shadows. Shriek. The pretty boy amongst the Nosferatu.
Honey, I'm fabulous. And I make sure everybody knows it. It's just, when I end up thinking about this whole devil's bargain we got hoisted into, it just kind of makes me wanna get sick. But it's the hand we were dealt, it's the hand we're gonna play. And I can get into it. I can get really into it. So I'm gonna end up taking a minute to, go bug the doggy. Probably best to end up getting that done early. See what it is that they're about. Try and end up going in. I'm sure by the time I get back, we should end up having that little get together with some of the locals. I'm sure that everybody else is just dying to end up getting to know everybody, become kindred of the people. It's enough to make you sick. But never mind all that. I'm curious as to what's going to be going on from this point out. There's a curiosity I have. Wondering how the old bitch ended up managing to end up making this place work in the first place. After all, the domain's ours. probably has some kind of infrastructure or something like that that put it all together, put it in working relation.
It's
And
not like she left you a working manual on how it all works.
and that's where it comes down to. The first person to know on how that works, the person is going to end up being able to really make this place tick. And I do like making people tick.
Well, with that being said, Dead Man's Hand, I need rouse checks. Everyone's a little hungrier. Whatever you might have snacked on the night before doesn't seem to sustain you much longer tonight. If you go without for too much longer, well, you might flip out on someone, rip their throat out, or their heart, or some other such organ. Anyone at Hunger 4? Close, but no cigar. Well, we can be grateful for the little things. So, who amongst you wants to go first as to what you're up to tonight?
Oh, I'll definitely end up going if no one interjects.
Well, Shrink, what are you up to tonight?
After I get out of that dingy apartment of mine, the first thing I'm going on is a bit of a hunt.
The creepy crawly is just crawling all over everything.
Just disgusting.
If it wasn't for the fact that you're so used to it now, it would give you the heebie-jeebies.
Would.
Sometimes does, still.
You spend enough time. Well, I had a centipede trying to end up crawling its way up my nose, and I was sitting in torpor at the time. My day sleep. That kind where you're not quite there, but you're there, you're aware of your surroundings, and all of a sudden I end up feeling this thing here starting to crawl itself up, trying to end up finding some body cavities to go in. Thankfully, it chose the nose. Well, guess it wouldn't have noticed otherwise. Sorry, crude humor. I just want to end up being able to end up getting something to feed, and then I think it would be good to end up going to end up seeing the little doggy. Trying to end up seeing if they're able to end up, oh, I don't know, being able to let me know on what this domain was like beforehand. They worked very closely with the previous Primogen, so given we're responsible for it, I don't think that they would mind us knowing enough just to not let the place go to hell before they get back.
Sounds like a decent plan to me. So, how do you hunt, Shriek? What do you look for? What do you do?
Depends on what kind of hunting. But this night, I guess it's blood. So, let's start off with the basics. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. You see, I don't like nightclubs and all that when it comes to feeding. Too many things can go wrong. No. Better to end doing it in a motel, but the best place? Right inside somebody's home while they're sleeping. To be able to get on in there, take your fill, take a forget-me-not, learn the place a little bit, maybe find something interesting. See, I try and observe something about these individuals and try and end up gathering what I can. Most don't really understand the value of what I do. They just think of it as me being a boogeyman. There's so much you can learn once you get in somebody's home.
Even just digging through the trash. So much you can learn about an individual. And I suppose that's one of the good things about the way that you hunt. Because if you learn how the kind interact with one another and with their neighborhood, it gives you an idea what the kindred around here are like too. So, give me your hunting roll. I believe this is, oh.
That is Derek dice all
That-
over the place. And
Bam 'em if you got 'em.
that is 7 dice, no successes.
That is
Starting this
quite,
chronicle off on the right foot, Derek. I'm proud.
quite rough. Yeah, that would be your
No,
first
that-
hour gone.
Yeah.
You're finding
I'm
it
not gonna.
so much harder these days. And when you were first embraced, not everybody had a smart home. Now it seems like they're more and more prevalent, and things are just getting trickier and trickier to get into without getting noticed.
I swear to God, it's the queen bitch herself, Jade's way of being able to get payback. For all I know, she's got companies selling the fucking things. Maybe she's just trying to eke me out. I don't know. Wouldn't be the first time. But that being said, I'm willing to end up pushing it because, well, I'd like to end up making sure the doggy is where he needs to, or where I want him to be. And that's gonna be in, well, probably his little, well, what do you call it, storage facility. And unfortunately, I can't stick around here because, well, things start to get a little itchy. So,
A tiny rat kind of scurries past your feet.
I'm pretty sure I'd probably reach on impulse to try and eat it before I end up moving on. But
There's hardly anything in there.
tastes like shit.
Shrink, you have 2 successes. Do you want a willpower, or do you want to succeed at a cost?
We need. Okay, so we need 4. What's the cost?
The cost? Cost is... I'll make it simple. Aggravated willpower.
Oh, for everybody else that would be fine, but for myself,
Gives you a little bit of,
I'm gonna
makes you
take it.
testy.
very testy, but I'm gonna take it.
You are able
And
to satiate up to 2.
I
Or
will
take
end
the
up
whole
doing
thing.
so. I will take up to 2. Not to say I wouldn't want to eat the whole thing, but thankfully, with the bloodlust, I'm off in slumberland now. Probably gonna end up sleeping through their alarm. Makes things a little easier. So I'm just gonna see if I can grab, oh, I don't know, some contact information, play around on the phone, snag a loose watch, but just enough to see what this person might be useful for.
Okay. How many dots in resources do you have?
We only get 1, and that's how Freak ends up getting the resources. But I am
Yeah.
currently trying to go with trying to expand my knowledge base.
Expand
An old
on
trick
that.
of his size.
Okay. So if you're looking to either find something a little extra juicy for some extra cash, or investigate about who this person is and who they might be connected to, give me a wits and investigation, because you can't stay here very long, so it has to be quick.
Well, Do this frequently enough, you're going to stumble on something. 2. 2 out of 5.
Okay. You find a little bit of the odds and ends, the ordinary stuff that you find that you can swipe away. Nobody would be any the wiser, that you can sell off either for cash or for something else to one of the contacts that you have around the whole city. This particular individual seems to be your average Joe. A 9 to 5 office worker seems to have some nice clothes in the closet. If you wanted to, you could snag a shirt for yourself. You might not miss him.
9 to 5, yeah, office worker. I think that's absolutely perfect. Write down. I'll end up taking, like, maybe he's brought one of those notepads from the office that has the brand name in the office, or card or something like that. But I'll end up snagging the contact info along with maybe a couple bucks from the change drawer. Just enough to end up giving me justification to end up stopping into a shop. It's all about reusing little bits of resources.
Yep.
He is cute, though.
He is very cute. He might even be your type, if you were alive.
He places the card in his pocket along with a few other forget-me-nots. Starts to leave the way he came. Sure to lock the door tight. Don't want anybody accidentally feeding on him a little bit later.
Yep,
Goodbye,
Thankfully, this house does not have a smart home installed. It doesn't have security cameras. No one is any wiser that you had been here tonight. But it did take up 2 hours of your time, and, well, sun sets relatively late in the late summer. So it is already a bit of the way through the night. Anyone else doing any feeding tonight before we move on?
Kane definitely will be feeding.
Okay. And what about Anna?
As will Anna.
Okay. Are y'all working together or separately?
Anna will be doing hers before meeting anyone.
Before meeting with anyone. Okay. So individually. Okay. So Anna, give me your feeding rule. How do you go about these things?
Well, Anna began my night thinking first I was going to head to the Haven, but feeling crawling hunger tells me that is not the wise decision. I have to make sure that more than anything, I'm in control of my faculties. I have to be. So, I need to find an inn. I just hate the act.
Oh, but Roman is such a tasty morsel.
Shut up! Shut up!
It's not the first time. Come on.
Never again.
What's a little off the top? He won't miss it.
I wince, cringing in my mind. My thoughts, and look above me, and it was like it was an answer. Group therapy circle.
Josephine. Could always go visit her. But she
focused
can't
on-
cure what's wrong.
Stop. Stop it. Hannah just starts knocking her head for a second.
Everything is wrong.
Anna grabs the flyer. It's just pasted to this street wall, this lamppost or such. It's focused on substance abuse. That's what it is. It's a fucking addiction. That's right.
Just need one more hit.
They would understand. I make my way. Session 1, I guess. Just in time. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every night. Every couple of nights. But there I meet a therapist. He's leading the group, calls himself Andy. He's gentle, he's funny, he's nice, he's charismatic, he's fucking pissing me off with how positive he is.
Juicy.
And people each share a little bit of their story. One by one, till it gets to me. I feel fucking stupid. 'Cause there's people with legitimate problems. Junkie, veteran, mother, a teenager.
Cocaine. Opiates. Painkillers. Weed. God, so much weed.
And I'm addicted to the drink. It has a hold on me that I can't ignore, and I try to avoid it. It's like just one drop. Immediately, I succumb to it. Next thing I know, I'm binging on it.
Like an alcoholic.
Liquor. I wince. Liquor. And I do the most absurd things just so I can make sure that I'm in control. But it always backfires on me. I try not to drink at all. I try to not eat. I try to keep myself as far away from any trigger as possible, and every time it feels like I'm just slowly digging my hole until I can't stand it anymore. And then I just need so much more, and I lose control. And it just takes one drop, and I'm gone. Just one drop.
Another person from the group sitting around in this circle. After everyone's shared their stories, you find that this person too, quote unquote, also is an alcoholic. And a bit of camaraderie is formed there. Starts chatting you up. Gives you a bit more details about himself, and While chatting you up, he's feeling comfortable, knowing that someone who suffers from a similar condition is here. Though you
It
lie.
feels nice. It might be a lie. But it feels nice. Nice to be comforted. Nice to be close. So close. And as the session ends, we pour our own feelings into each other for a moment. Like a siren, I pull him in. He takes me on. And I tell him. I ask him the most absurd thing. I ask him if he'll let me bite hard enough that it bleeds. And if he holds me, he'll let me hurt him. And in turn, I need him to hurt me too.
In a sort of way. Roll your feeding roll. Because that is where this conversation is where that becomes important.
All right. And specialties apply here, right?
Specialties do apply.
Cool. Vessels, which is the standard for the predator type. Plonk. Will a 4 do it, Captain?
A 4 will do it. He seems easy enough to persuade. Maybe he's a little like you, in that he has a need for punishment. Need to punish and be punished. For the criminal sin of alcohol. So, you take your bite. How much do you take from him?
I want to make sure that he feels like the euphoria was worthwhile. Even just for a moment, that I can relieve some of his head, some of his mind, some of his heart. Because after all, I can't really do this unless I'm giving something back. I have to earn it. I'll take 2. Because I need it.
Fair enough. 2 it is.
And, Nana does so. She makes sure that, all things considered, he's well taken care of. And she'll be returning to him. At the end of it, she gently wipes his face, kisses his cheeks, tells him, I'll see you at the next session.
He nods.
Don't disappoint me.
He's a little bleary from the euphoria of the kiss. He lets you leave as you see fit. There is a slight melancholic taste to his blood. Let's find out how strong that is. It's barely even there. He's kind of getting his shit together.
It's good to hear.
It's a little bland, but that he's getting his shit together, though. Maybe you should tip him over the edge. Feed him a little bit of drink.
I want him to be happy. And it's good that he's getting the help he needs.
Do you care, though? Does he even matter? He's just food.
He's not just food. He's not just food. They're never just food. I hate it when I'm like this, but I feel like more than anything, I just need to be needed. It's not with the other drinkers, for lack of better terms, that I find that I have a place. I only really mean anything if I can be useful, and this is not useful. This is just stealing. This is just leeching.
You had permission.
I did. But I can't help but still feel guilty. Because deep down inside, I know I want them to break just a little bit because of me. I want them to need me as much as they needed that.
Then break him.
And I will leave. She heads to the shop at the coterie. Traditionally, has agreed to meet each other.
All right. Then there's Kane. Kane, how are you going about your feeding tonight? As you are also a hungry kindred.
Well, after waking up and going downstairs and making sure nothing's needed, I would head out to maybe, I guess you could say, the bad part of town, with local seedy bars, and look for someone who isn't exactly on the up. And if I can, feed on someone that I wouldn't say deserves it, but that I wouldn't feel bad about.
Oh, but they deserve it. Shit disturbers all deserve it. Put in their place. Rid the streets of this filth right into my gullet. That's what we're doing, right? We're cleaning up the streets. That's how we
Doing
do
bad.
these things.
Doing bad things for a good reason isn't always a good thing, though. Gotta keep ourselves in check. Gotta be smart.
It's not bad if you're ridding the world of criminals. Degenerates.
Normal people still call that murder. It still draws heat. Still gotta be smart.
Just saying, if it happens, it's one less mook we have to worry about.
And he'll just start breathing and maybe like start bouncing on his feet a bit and just like he's getting into the headspace before a fight, trying to clear his mind, keep his shit together.
Yeah. Let's go. And so, prowling the streets in the way that you do, Kane, give me your feeding roll. Oh, you see him.
Flip the hood up on my hoodie.
A young thing. But he's sporty. He looks like he's got a good head on his shoulders. If it weren't for the fact that he seems to be ripping off an old homeless man. Holding the guy at knife point. Stealing whatever cash was in his cup. Kicking the cup over. Kicking the guy in the ribs as he's down.
And just walk up and grab his knife hand and then by the back of the neck. With your free hand, give him back all the money you have and all that you took from him.
You must be a big and intimidating guy, because absolutely he drops all of the money that he had in his hand.
I march him off towards an alley.
March him off towards an alley. How much are you taking? Are you going to destroy this criminal? Like he deserves?
Not going to. I'm only going to take 2, but since I've got the hood up and my face is a little obscured, I'm just going to scare the shit out of him. Remember how it feels to be the help. And then I'll feed.
Maybe purposefully digging a little too rough with your meaty fingers and your muscular arms. That power that is La Sombra. The darkness of the light just kind of dims a little bit further down, just as you're getting into that fighty mood. He struggles. He struggles against your grip, and you chomp onto his neck with a meaty bite, but not enough. Maybe enough to hurt, but not enough to kill. You suck down the delightful red liquid that all humans have. Delicious, aggressive fear. All of it the kind of taste that you like on an individual. It strengthens you to know that they're afraid of you. Just makes it taste that little sweeter, that cherry on top.
I don't want to enjoy them, but I do.
Oh, you enjoy the hell out of it. You enjoy the hell out of it as you guzzle it down, the beast within you. Mostly sated. Just a little whisper. It wants dessert. But you have decided not to destroy a criminal and instead throw him onto the ground and walk away. He might have cracked a rib. But not that that's any of your problem.
I can only hope he learned his lesson if I ever see him again. Who knows, I might not be able to control myself.
I might just kill him.
Picking on a homeless man like that. He must have never really been truly hungry. Truly out of options. Thinks he's in a bad spot, has to do what he's doing now. It's just scum. There are opportunities, you just gotta work for them.
Same as the rest. But you finish with your juice box of a criminal. You begin to walk back towards the coterie house. You got shit to do today. Thankfully, this was pretty easy and pretty straightforward.
Always on the grind.
Even more so with the title looming over your head.
Just hoping not to be the one to get ground.
But you all meet back at the shop where Alex has taken you all for the use of for the time being as a meeting spot for all of you. Sadly, she is predisposed tonight, so she won't be joining on any of the festivities. But you all, the three of you, are here. And you are free to do as you please.
Now, what kind of shop is this?
It's a kind of a book and oddity shop. Kind of got like crystals and kind of odds and ends for like the different kind of Wiccan things. As Alexandra is a self-proclaimed witch, well, her shop certainly tells you a lot about her, but in that regard.
I would like to look around for an interesting book or oddity.
I remember somebody doing that an episode or two ago, and I don't remember who it was. But I think...
Oh, I didn't know. My bad. We don't have to do that. It's like... You have caught my attention.
Yes. As you're kind of looking around, you definitely see... copies of religious texts. You see copies of other important literature. You see.
Oh, I have an idea. One, if there's any kind of skeletons or skulls, bones of animals, even, or a book on like herbs and remedies and like different things for like. Basically,
you're more likely going to find a book on herbal remedies more than you are going to find like bones and things.
I heard oddities. I didn't know what kind of oddities. So.
It does have the occasional sort of fake skull and kind of like odd statues and things like that, but nothing of a sort of grotesque manner. It's more of a crystals and
Gotcha.
incense and books and maybe some like altar decorations for those who have altars, those sorts of things.
Okay, yeah, I would go for a book then.
Yep. And you can find a book that's on herbology
Yeah,
And
maybe some like figure out some ways some herbs can be used for different things and maybe medicinal.
mm-hmm. Okay.
Just Kane's always trying to learn shit.
Yep.
He doesn't just want to be a dumb brute.
Yep. Easily can pick that up. There's one available and you can purchase it. It is not going to be super taxing on your resources.
Copy that. I'm planning on upping my medicine a little bit, so I'm trying to work on ways to do this.
Right. Without having to become a doctor.
Well, he's got basic first aid skills from just being a fighter.
Yeah. Basic first
But,
aid is always helpful.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to need CPR.
Yeah. Sorry.
But that is something that you have found.
No, just kind of tuck that away inside the pouch of my hoodie and go meet up with the other two.
And Shriek would have been the last one to arrive, as his excursion did take a bit longer than the rest of you. But he does make his entrance as flamboyant or as flea-ridden as he would desire.
Ah, the pretty boy.
You know
Fashionably
it.
late.
Well, you can't rush perfection. Oh, hey. Kane, put that down. That's not for eating.
Have you ever tried to absorb text through high velocity?
Text? No.
Alright. So what are we getting into tonight?
Whoa. It almost sounds like he's trying to plan.
No, I just like to get a lay of the land. If we're all working together, and generally you gotta do these kinds of things. I figure each of us has got a skill set. We gotta put it to use where we can. If we're gonna have any chance of staying out from underneath of this swinging sword that's hanging above us.
No. That's how it is. Okay. I can get behind that. So, let's see here. Ended up having a wonderful talk with one of the locals. She was just... Well, she's a right bitch, but that's okay. Could be some problems later on, but we'll end up crossing that bridge when we get to it. And tonight, I'm gonna end up going to talk to our dearest hound. Just to end up making sure that everything ends up turning into a nice, organized machine. I mean, the Primogen had to end up having this place up and running somehow. I'd like to at least know how.
I think I might come at it from the other end then. We went out
Ooh.
and met one of the locals that's kind of been taking people under the wing and speaking for them. But I still want to get a little more street level. I'll go to some of the places I know, try to get the pulse of the place, and see if...
Honey, everything we end up dealing with is dead. There is no fucking pulse.
You know, old sayings and habits die hard.
Well, we're already dead, so we skipped that step too. But I see what you mean.
Yeah. I'd rather know where they're at, how they're feeling, what they're worried about, what's going on. We need information to even do anything. Otherwise, we're just pissing in the wind and hoping
That's
it
you
doesn't
anyway.
come back on us.
You just need information. That's funny. That's very, very funny.
It's like he doesn't even think that we can do anything.
Look,
I know.
I try to get the information. I figure that's the least I can do, as well as stamp out things that they come up, because that's kind of probably what my job was when I signed here, But people like you need to know shit to get shit done. We all have our roles to play, and we gotta work on that. I figure you can do a lot more with the information than I can. So, if I can feed you what I can, maybe we'll get out of this as unalive as we were when we started.
Oh, that's the first part I think he said that made sense. He's learning. Careful. Well,
Not everybody my size is just dumb brute.
jury's still out on that big guy, but you keep swinging, we might end up having something. But I'm hearing nothing from the third corner of this room. Don't think I forgot about you, sweetheart.
You always have an eye for detail, Shriek. Thanks for noticing.
You have any ideas tonight?
I think, if it's alright with you, Kane, I'd like to join you tonight. I prefer street level, is how you put it. Or more specifically, just trying to avoid the big politicking as much as I can.
Well, I wouldn't mind having you along, another set of eyes. Catch something that I missed. It's always good to have two takes on something. Put them together, we always get more information than just one source.
I can do that. Even though I say that, if it's alright, Shriek, could you pass along just a simple hello to the Hound for me?
Oh, I'm sure he'll be delighted to end up knowing about that. I'm very grateful that you end up entrusting me with such a message. Don't worry, little Anna. I'm sure that his bite is worse than his bark. Or is that the other way around? Not quite sure. Anyway, just be careful when he starts to think.
You know, you are a sassy bitch, and I can't wait to get to know the actor.
More sass. But I have to end up making some rounds today. He pulls out a card. It looks like a business card. It is. He kind of just flips it over, looks at it for a second, and he puts it back.
Organ?
So, gotta end up staying on top of it somehow.
Sorry, I jest. I know it's probably a pain in the ass.
Oh, what? You trying to get on my good side? You're already seeing it, honey.
No, I just realized with my habits and sense of humor, I don't know you well enough for you to know that that's just a joke. And not me being a dick.
This whole thing is a joke, and you're a perpetual dick. So that's nothing new.
Fair.
So, how about we end up here going along, see what we can end up getting done tonight, and try not to end up ending up on the 6 o'clock news tomorrow. Sound good? Okay. Doodles.
Alright. Well, let's go for a ride, Anna.
Yes. Shriek, be safe.
Yeah, you got contact information. If you get into the shit, we'll get there as soon as possible.
He stops for a minute. And you might get the impression like he wants to turn around, like he wants to look back. A comment that was made just gives him pause. No smart aleck remark, no nothing. Just a moment's hesitation. And then a step out into the night.
Which I'm right, we did give each other contact information, right?
I'm assuming so.
I'm also
okay.
assuming so.
Just want to make sure that I'm not being a dick and like, you got my number, and I really didn't give it to him and just walk away.
Well, probably the trickier part would be trying to keep it away from Shriek, but okay.
Yeah, that's even trickier.
All right. I haven't really gotten to know you, King. Are you okay if I call you King?
Yeah. If you believe Shriek, I'm about as simple as they come, but
I frankly don't believe anything until I see it at this point.
it's true. How many things did we think were myth, and now we're finding out were fact, and kind of throws your whole perspective into a fuck up.
Yeah. And Anna will just kind of like look down. And you get her meekish personality kind of belies that she's constantly got like cogs or comments that she's got going on in her head, but she just doesn't really say anything.
Well,
Just quiet.
if you need anything, let me know. Don't do anything that makes you too uncomfortable, and just try to keep your eyes and ears open. If you have an idea or something you want to say, by all means, speak up. But you don't seem to be the one that likes to do a lot of talk.
Yeah, I
He
prefer to listen.
He talks too much.
I like it when other people are, being the face of things, I guess you could say.
I'll do the best I can. But... And he'll walk up and he'll open the door to his van for her.
Thanks.
No problem.
She'll get in, and she'll just kind of like look around the vehicle, checking out like what sort of tools and things like that are inside.
Yeah,
She
there's
notices all the
tool.
exercise equipment behind.
Yeah, there's toolboxes and bags. There's a couple of like beat up heavy bags with duct tape on them. You can tell that they've been rotated out. He might try to stitch them back up and fix them, or might just go donate them or something. Like various like barbells and plates that he might have gotten like that are rusty that he needs to refinish to put into the gym. Just odds and ends of like a business.
And
But
see,
it's in a
Anna
very
never.
nondescript sort of panel van.
Yeah. Anna, not knowing that you work at a gym, once you get in, start the vehicle, she turns back around. She just kind of like, you see her brows furrow up, and she's just like, is the equipment in the back? Do you work at a gym, or is it
Oh, I actually own
weapons?
Them. They could do to be weapons if I needed them to be, but no, it's just new and old things that I gotta either fix up or replace, and things just spill over and get knocked by the wayside because we're too busy in these nights to get stuff done on time.
Gotcha. What kind of gym do you work at?
Oh, it's a full service gym. They have weights and everything. The only thing we don't have is a pool. Eventually, if I could ever get a good enough place to have one, that's a dream. But we mostly run boxing and MMA fighters out of it. They get their local licenses, and we try to keep them in a good place till they can either get picked up or go as far as they can in their career. Plus a lot of locals that just do it to stay in shape.
See, That makes sense. I don't know. I guess I just figured public situations are usually completely avoided at this point.
I'm
So-
no longer the face of that place. I used to be in my heyday, but I have a good trainer that runs things and someone that I'm bringing up to help in the other sides. They mostly run the public stuff now.
From the other side?
Oh. Well, let's just say not all fights are on the legal side. There's some people that take fights just for the money, and it's not always in a ring that they fight.
You see Anna, she squints at you. Do you do bum fights?
No, that's tasteful. Though I have found fighters that were bums. No, this is strictly a circuit that is just not sanctioned by the commission. It's
Okay.
mostly people with money that want to see a little more bare-fisted stuff, which actually, amusingly enough, can be safer than it with gloves. You don't take as many hits before you go down, less head trauma.
Fight Club.
Kind of,
But
yeah, it's kind of ironic actually that the bare knuckles might be safer than what we're doing in the ring.
huh. Would it be okay if I watched one of these fights?
No,
And just kind of see how you do it?
that's the human side. We also have the side we're going to tonight. And he starts up the van.
Oh.
I'm sure you'll be able to see something in the ring tonight.
You do this for Kindred, too.
That need to blow off some steam doesn't stop just because you're not human anymore sometimes.
That's true. It's just way more dangerous.
And that wanting to see a spectacle, maybe a little bit of gambling, prove that you're a badass, get some clout. There's a lot of reasons people do it, but in the end, someone's got to organize it, someone's got to run it. And I'd rather do it because I'm looking out to try to make sure people do it right.
Right. I mean,
better
I
than
guess
someone that'll exploit them more than
Yeah.
they need to be.
has there ever been a moment? I mean, I don't discount. You seem like you'd be able to stop just about any force of nature that would come your way, but I guess my question is, have you ever had a moment where things got out of control for you too?
Everybody has that point, and there's always someone stronger somewhere. Then they're like one of the old sayings, there's always a puncher's chance. Doesn't matter how up the odds are against you. One good hit could change everything.
Yeah. It's honestly terrifying to think about it. Because, you know, superpowers and all of that. Super strength or speed. I've seen it. These are things that are, I mean, they're pretty common amongst our kind. But it's still really scary all the same. It's not really... She kind of lifts her leg up into her chest, it's not really something I was ever given. Not something I ever had, so I've just tried to stay out of it.
One thing I've always learned, and I learned this from all the fighters that we've turned around, everybody's got a skill set. It may not always be perfect, and it may not always be to what you want. You just gotta find yours and use it. You have your strengths and weaknesses. Try to stack up as much advantage as you can in your strengths, and get shit done when you need to.
I think you got more faith in me than I do in that.
Well, it's not just faith in you. That's everybody. Everybody's good at something. It's not always something useful, but if you can make it work for you, put you in a good place as well as, well, at least a better place. We'll figure it out, though.
And Anna will just kind of look outside the window as they're driving through the neighborhoods. She goes silent at that point.
And if she goes silent, Kane will just kind of turn on and like put a CD in or something, or not a CD, like plug his phone in and have a playlist going of like industrial metal, some symphonic stuff, stuff with a good beat, stuff to,
Get hype
it's
about.
calm. Well, it's not his hype playlist. It's the chill, like awesome beats and like girls singing their ass off and something to kind of keep everybody in a good headspace.
Okay.
I just imagine he puts on Paramore and then Anna's like gives him this side eye like, really?
Hey,
Dude, I know I look emo.
He said
but...
symphonic metal, and my first thought was like Within Temptation.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like the two things that came to mind was Rammstein and Nightwish.
Oh, okay. Rammstein Anna could get behind.
Hey, but he would fuck around with some Paramore, right? I'm just saying.
Maybe there's a mix of all of this in there.
And it just goes through your Spotify playlist, starts
judging me harshly.
Yeah, judging it, but also like she just like very
full on accepts
subtly adds a whole bunch of bands. You'll notice it's like shit like Meshuggah or so.
Oh, do not touch my Meshuggah. That's on my hype playlist.
Oh, perfect.
You can't hear
odd conversation about music the entire rest of the way.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautifully done. Yes. Conversations about music are had. So, Kane, tell me about this place that you go for kindred fights.
It's probably an old kind of like factory of some kind that has a sub basement that has like sound can't get through, very sturdy shit and foundations that if someone were to get thrown into it maybe crack, but it wouldn't bring the whole place down.
A very concrete building.
Yeah, it's a very, very sturdy place that people that were a little supernaturally fueled could go all out against each other without causing a big ruckus.
Okay. Does this place supply refreshments to those who may be hungry?
It would... That depends on how big time you want us to be. Because if it's big time enough, I could see that being a thing.
Well, do you have a herd?
I do not believe I have a herd at the moment. I think that was something that I was going to work towards.
Then it's likely that beverages are not included.
Yeah, I don't think beverages would be included, to be honest.
Everybody's kind of fend for themselves when it comes to their own blood intake, so fight at your own risk.
He might, because of criminal contacts and stuff, might have spare blood bags for emergencies. but not not where he would hand them out willy nilly.
Yeah, they're not in a huge supply.
No. More like if someone goes into a frenzy, where they can hold him down and throw one down his gullet to get his senses back.
Okay. So you maybe have one or two in the fridge.
Yeah. They're not easy to get, so he only uses them in emergencies. And if they don't have them, well, he just hopes they're not steak bait and makes them go and take a nap for a while till they can get something to feed them.
Because that is one of the drawbacks to being a kindred and getting into a physical altercation, that these things tend to cause frenzies. And frenzies are not pleasant for all involved. On the outside, anyway. On the inside, the person frenzying might be having the time of their life for the moment. But it's not always pretty, and it's not always fun for you as the cleanup guy.
Nope. But it's one of the reasons I insist on being there for him. Not many other people that get into it could probably hold back what I can.
And so, you and Anna make your way into this warehouse. This warehouse with a basement. With all sorts of fun things.
Oh, I have an idea.
Ooh.
Could it be an old slaughterhouse?
It could
Just
be.
because of theme.
Could be. And there's definitely the potential of an old slaughterhouse. And so
Yeah.
you both are driving up, and just give me 1 second. And you do see some of your regular people. No one's really fighting in the ring right now. For what ring there is, but there are a couple of individuals who've made themselves known. A couple of which are Danny and Monty, like you have met at Elysium. They are, again, inseparable.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as if they've created a coterie for themselves. If one can call a batch of thin bloods a coterie. You see a couple of others that are around, but go ahead with your question.
I was gonna say, is there a scene on Roll20 for this or no?
Oh yes, because I'm setting it up right now. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, there's a few others besides those two thin bloods. There's only a handful of individuals. Just pulling that up here right now. All right. There's a couple of rather strange looking individuals. They are at first put off by the fact that that someone's opened the door and come into this place, but then they find out it's Kane, a familiar face, and again get a little bit caught on the back foot, as it were, as it appears that a couple of Nosferatu have also graced this place, but weren't expecting Anna, someone they don't know to be kindred yet. So they look at Cade and the one person who maybe looks like she's drowned. She has a sort of wet sort of look on her face. She's definitely very well built, but she looks like she's constantly dripping water, and that her face and body is just bloated with water, as if she looks like she's in a constant state of looking drowned.
Okay.
And she kind of clears her throat a little bit and says, "Who's this?"
Oh, she's with me. Don't worry. There are no secrets here. Well,
You liar.
let's just say that everything that's on the table is okay.
All right. Who's your friend?
My name is Anna.
Kitty.
Nice to meet you, Kitty.
Where'd you find this little shrimp?
Oh, we got thrown together to do a job.
Oh. Is that the one that I've been hearing talk about?
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I'm here, not just for the normal duties, but I wanted to talk to people.
Well, it's only us chickens here.
Yeah. Does anybody set up outs for the night? Do we have anybody challengers? Or I'm hoping we don't have a grudge tonight.
No. It's a slow night. I mean, you've got Danny and Monty here and not looking to scrap with anybody. Especially not Fernando and Colette over there.
Anna will peer over at Fernando and Colette if they're present.
They are. They're just kind of hanging out in the corner. Kind of look like they're avoiding people. Or people are avoiding them. You're not sure which. Danny and Monty certainly aren't mingling with them.
So who's looking to fight tonight?
Fernando's always itching, but he knows that I can kick his ass. Why, you looking to scrap?
Oh, no one else is going to. I haven't been in one in a while. Gotta stay sharp. If no one else takes off.
Well, he's always looking for somebody to scrap with, so if it's a sparring match...
Yeah.
He's gonna be disappointed, though. He kind of wants to take somebody's head off.
I don't think he really wants to get in that kind of match with me.
No, maybe not with you. No, it's a couple of years that he's had that itch to just punch people in the face. Not that I would blame him or anything, but, you know, it gets old.
Yeah. Well, let me do my rounds and talk to people, and if no one stepped up for a match for the night, It's rare, but I do like to put on a show for the people. They gotta have something to watch. Throw a little money around with.
She kind of looks at the warehouse. What crowd? It's just us.
Anybody that came to watch is the crowd. Doesn't matter how small, you still gotta put a show on for them.
I guess. You're a weirdo.
You forget where I come from. It doesn't matter
No,
if
I
there's
know where
one
you come
person
from. You're still a weirdo.
It doesn't matter if it's one person in the stand or 100,000. You gotta put on a show for them.
That's what you brought that chicken for, huh?
Well,
Showing off a little bit.
nah. I was never that kind of guy.
Liar. This whole spiel about putting on a show for an audience and you bring somebody to come as an audience and you're a fucking liar.
She was curious about seeing one, so I'm not gonna say I don't like showing off, but that's not why I brought her.
Well, she looks over to Anna. Welcome to the pit.
Thanks. I admit I'm not much of a fighter, so more than anything, I'll probably just stay out of the way unless someone needs me useful.
Looks can be deceiving. I know that for a fact. There could be a lot of muscle behind that skinny little frame of yours. I won't be fooled. You could be anything.
I guess you're right. It's kind of the condition, isn't it?
I mean, first impressions are never the right impression.
You can never judge a book by its cover. You might get some of the contents, but you'll miss all the important shit.
See, he's the philosophical one, not me.
And you wouldn't tell that by my big ass.
You're still a fat ass.
Look, when I got turned, I was already retired. I loved my beer. I loved my whiskey. I'm still in good enough shape that I could work around anybody, but
Yeah, well,
I gave up having a six-pack. That shit's too much work.
well, if you're looking to go up on the stage, why don't you go talk to Fernando?
Yeah, I'll make my rounds.
I'll get it all prepped, boss. She gives a little bit of a salute.
He'll just smirk and start laughing. All right, let's get to this. And I'll walk over to Fernando.
All right. She goes off to prepare what is possibly the pit for fights, and you see that Fernando's just kind of hanging around Colette. Just kind of, they're not really saying anything to each other. They're just existing in each other's presence at the moment.
That's who wanted to fight me, right?
Yeah, Fernando.
Okay.
Well, wanted to fight anybody, but
yeah. Fernando, Colette,
Kane.
how are you two doing tonight?
Colette speaks up. Just fine.
Are these two the Nas?
Colette, it's not a Nosferatu. You're
Okay.
maybe you're familiar with her, maybe you're not. Give me an intelligence politics. Or maybe you're familiar with Fernando's past too, so give me that intelligence politics.
Not the biggest dice pool.
Oh, but there's 3 successes.
Oh, shit, I forgot. That weren't supposed to be hunger dice. I forgot I fed.
Yeah, you did. So, but that's 3 successes. So that's unless you want to go
Yeah.
crit fishing.
No, 3 successes is good enough. I'm not going to re-roll a success to try to crit fish on something that I only have 3 dice.
Fair enough. So, it's not particularly difficult to find to understand why these two are in this domain, as they're kind of amongst the disgraced of the Camarilla of Dallas. See, they went on an adventure to San Antonio, and came back with their tail between their legs, having failed taking the city for the Camarilla. And so, with that, they were allowed back. But now they have a bit of shame that they must overcome at some point, if it even bothers them at all. As they weren't exactly the face of their coterie in the past. That belonged to a young man named Kyle Calhoun, who sadly is no longer amongst the undead. But that is what you know of their past, as it's not exactly a secret.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And they are people that are under the moniker of like
The Reclaimed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense why they're here.
Oh, I got two things I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you've been keeping up on any of the politics, but a couple of us were appointed to be acting primogen for the area.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
You?
I'm one of them.
Fuck. Well, it ain't me. That's as much as I can care about.
Well, I'm trying to get a deal for everybody's standing. See if people need shit. See if people are fucking with anybody.
No, if somebody was fucking with me, I'd fuck them right back.
Well, that's true for you, but not everybody's as strong as.
Always playing the white knight, aren't you, Mr. Kane? Says Colette.
Well, I know what it's like to be on the other side of that. And
who doesn't?
Now it's actually part of a job that I have to do. And you know me, I take my shit serious. Not everything has to be altruistic, but it is something that needs to get done. That doesn't matter why I'm doing it, but if I can do something good while I'm doing something that I need to, maybe that's the only way I can keep on the little piece of who I was and not completely fall down into the shit that we are.
Look, you do what you gotta.
That's all I'm saying I'm trying to do. But if, just put the word out.
Someone
If
just
anybody.
supposed to call you Kid Primogen Tenebris now.
No, call me Kane. I don't really give a shit for titles. I know it's a part of a job.
I mean,
But
in Elysium, you better give a shit about your title.
Yeah, well, there's a time and place for that. When I step into the ring, I have a different name. When I step into the court, I have a title. And then I have a role to play. But while I'm on the street, I want you guys coming to me with what you need and what's going on. I don't want some pomp and circumstance to get in the way of getting shit done.
So are you looking for information right now, Mr. Tenebrous?
If there is information to be had, if there's anybody that needs shit, I'm just trying to get the word out. It's not going to be. Things aren't going to be exactly the same.
Why
guys
don't
run
you
in-
ask the prince for a rock in our domain?
If that is something that we need, I'll try to arrange it. I'll see.
You have no idea when someone is joking with you, do you?
I figured, but it would be a highly difficult request. But if there's something I can do to make things easier, I'm going to.
We'll see what kind of power you wield. And what about you, little one? Who are you?
My name is Anna. I'm another member of Dead Man's Hand, Zakotari.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. I assume your name is Colette?
Yes, Colette Crevier.
And you're Fernando, sir.
Well, Sir is actually a very auspicious title. It's just Fernando. It's all I ever was, all I ever will be.
No, I'm just Anna. All
Pleasure
that
to
ever
meet you.
was and never will be.
Just Anna.
Oh, Fernando.
Mm.
If no one takes you up within the hour, let's have some fun.
Shit, I'm itching right now.
We won't be going all the way, but
No, of course not. I'm not going to make my Primogen go back with his tail between his legs to his home and have to fucking frenzy on somebody to get fed. No, shoving your ass in some concrete. Or dirt. You know, whichever comes first.
It should be fun. It's been a while since I could let loose a little.
And he does this sort of like fist in palm smack, but when he does so, you can hear so much power put behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's pumped. Like he's already juicing just to get his blood flowing, as it were. And Colette seems to just shake her head and just kind of look over to Anna and say, "Brutish men."
Well, very necessary part as well.
Fighting is never necessary. Well, no, I take that back. Fighting can be necessary. Pointless fighting is not. This is pointless.
I guess I've had my concerns about it. What could go wrong when you put two big monsters inside a ring together?
This is why I plan to go right over there. And she kind of points over to a corner where it's a good vantage point, but it's very far away from anyone and close enough to the exit that she can bolt if she needs to. Will you join me?
I was about to ask if I may. And she will move along with Colette.
All right.
Coffee.
Yes.
Can I have a second to run to the bathroom real quick?
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Yep.
Sounds like a great break time.
Yep. We can do a quick break. We'll be back with more of this. So we'll have Fernando and Kane maybe duke it out a couple of punches, and maybe a conversation with Anna and Colette. So be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hand. Before the break, Kane had inquired with Fernando in Nosferatu about throwing some hands. And, well, Fernando, being the sort of pent-up Nosferatu that he is, will oblige. So, Kitty, one of the other Nosferatu in this warehouse, has gone and prepared the pit, as there is a literal pit in this warehouse where the two kindred will commence the fisticuffs. You see that Fernando's kind of cracking his knuckles. Not like he has to loosen up his fingers, but he does anyway. Maybe an intimidation tactic. Who knows?
Kane would kind of do a couple of stretches, getting himself loose, and walk over to one of the benches or somewhere where he can take off his hoodie and his shirt and fold them up and kick off his shoes and take off his socks. And most people wouldn't tell, but underneath of what's covered up, Kane is actually very heavily tattooed. And he would just kind of start rolling his neck and bouncing up and down on his feet, trying to get what he would used to do to get the blood flowing and kind of center himself. Getting ready. Surprisingly well for a man of his size. He's kind of a little more agile than you would think.
You ready to fight, big guy?
Let's put on a show.
Well, all that cracking of your neck and everything's more just a show. I don't need to do that shit anymore.
Hey, I've had a ritual ever since I did my first fight. I ain't about to stop it now if I get a chance to do it. And as I'm going over and I'm going to step off and just drop into the pit, right before the fight goes, I will pop potence.
All right. Potence it is. You see that Fernando kind of also cracks his knuckles, kind of loosens up his neck a little bit, just kind of imitating you a little, and then also jumps down into the pit. He doesn't bother to remove any of his any clothing that he's wearing. He is simply bare-knuckled. He just kind of paces and tries to square you up a little bit.
Kane will just kind of take a stance and kind of raise both of his hands about shoulder width apart and just kind of size him up and get ready.
Well, it kind of sounds like you both are kind of trying to intimidate each other for a minute, so why don't we do opposed intimidation rolls?
Alright. Is that going to be a strength or charisma?
It'll be strength,
Okay.
but
And since we're both
potence will not apply.
Gotcha.
It's just a show. You're not actually doing a feat of strength.
Ooh. We going to re-roll that. Because he ain't going out like no bitch. Well, maybe he is. He probably's got too big of a smirk on his face. He's ready for this.
Mm-hmm. Now, he is intending to try and, whittle down what little resolve you might have, so you are going to take some willpower damage. That's going to be 2 points of willpower damage.
Oof. Okay. I've never had that happen to me in a game before.
Yep. A little bit of social combat before the fists start flying.
Nope.
You ready, old man?
How close is he to me?
Probably about 6 feet.
I'll just start kind of walking forward.
It's not like you have to walk very far. It's like 2 steps.
Nope. But I'm advancing.
And he is doing the same, and he's actually going to do so rather quickly and actually close the gap and throw a punch.
Alright.
So, it's a strength brawl. And he also has potence going. Oh, wow. That is a sucky roll.
Oh, he has 9 dice. This is a big motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be fun.
He's no slouch.
Alright, so what do I do? Do I do an opposed brawl or do what?
You can either oppose brawl or to try and land a hit, or you can dexterity and athletics to dodge.
Oh yeah, I'm going to try to punch him back. We're going to see who lands the first punch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's brawl, strength, and it's plus. Yeah. That's that. You know what? I'm going to try to take and since he's throwing the first punch and putting some weight into it, I'm going to try to hip throw him into the wall.
Okay. So it's going to be a grappling, more or less, move?
Yep.
Okay. So if you have a grappling specialty, it will apply.
Yep. So that will be... should be that.
Whew. Well, the margin is 2, which means he takes a superficial health damage. So you kind of describe how it is that you're grabbing him and throwing him.
Oh, you want me to describe it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, he goes to throw the punch, and he's kind of like his weight's too forward. So I'll catch his wrist and wrap an arm around his, the back of his neck and throw my hip into his waist. And just use that as a pivot point and use my strength to follow through a little bit of leverage and toss his ass against the wall on the far side of the ring.
Nice. Very nice. Alright. All right. Well, he's not gonna stop there. He's gonna go for another swing.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to meet him and outbox him this time.
Okay. He is also going to do the same. Oh.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Okay, that's... Oh, he went from 9 dice... Oh, he's...
Oh, because I might
Oh,
not have
shit.
rolled his potence before.
Oh, damn, so he's even stronger than I am. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to...
I might have fucked that up. Wait, hang on. No, yeah, that's right. Yep, I didn't roll his potence before. My bad.
Yeah, I'm going to Blood Surge to get 2 dice. Which means I have to roll in that... Or... No, I got an easy way I can do that. I'll temporarily bump that up by 1 because it won't let me do it otherwise. When you start having too many dice, then it won't let you actually roll with the modifiers.
Oh, shit.
Or, well, okay, maybe it's not a problem. And can you roll with a higher modifier than 5 in this sheet?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay, then...
Because you input the modifier as a number.
Okay, because, like... Oh, it was the other sheet from Boat's game that he had, where I had to roll extra dice all the time because it wouldn't let you put a higher modifier than 5.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Very much dumb.
If you have all the dice, use all of the dice. Ooh, what does that look like? Ooh, that's also a crit for you. So it's 10 versus 10. Since you are the player character, I'm going to consider you the aggressor in this case. So you do land a hit, and he lands a hit on you. But it's basically like one of those anime styles images where you both punch each other's fist, and it dust just kind of disperses everywhere, but neither of you flinch, neither of you is damaged.
I'm all about this shit. Okay, I do get hungry for that.
So yeah, there's dust flying. The other spectators of the match just kind of are just kind of watching, from a safe distance, above the pit, and you hear a bit of a gasp from Colette a little bit, Anna. She seems to be have not expected this. It certainly seems like he's improved. She says to you.
I honestly had no idea. I mean, I figured, but Anna just kind of on the next to the guard rail sinks down into a crouch, looking through the bars, her hands still up on them. That's really scary. That's really scary. Both of them.
All right, Kane, your move. What are you doing?
One good punch deserves another. Since we're going all out, I'm going to keep, I'm going to Blood Surge again, too.
All right, he's going to continue more of the same. Oh, that's 7. Or no, 8. Oh, he's that's 7 on him, so he takes. And actually, he's gonna willpower. He is gonna spend 1 on that. Willpower reroll. Okay. Yeah, that turns that into 12. Versus your 8, so that's 4 divided by 2 is for half is 2. So you're gonna take 2 points of superficial damage.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend. Willpower is very precious to me right now.
And he just kind of like full weight into it, just kind of haymakers you into the face, and you swear a tooth got dislodged. That maybe you're spitting a little bit of vitae, some of that precious vitae, onto the ground. Give up yet?
Not yet. And I'm going to go for an uppercut, since he probably knocked me down a bit.
Okay. Then he's gonna do more of the same. He's not letting up.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah. Because he has 7. What you gonna do about it, Kane?
Let's see if I can.
Because if you take it as it is, that's 5 points, half to 3 superficial damage.
I'll spend the willpower to reroll to try to lessen the damage.
Okay. Okay, so that brings it to 3 successes on you versus his 7. So that's 4 half to 2.
Okay.
So it does lessen it by 1, but you're starting to feel it.
Yeah.
He's no pushover, and you know that recovering from unconscious is definitely, you're gonna start getting into like some serious injuries if you don't call it off soon. Recovering superficial damage is one thing. Aggravated damage, you know that to be rough. That's days worth of healing.
Yeah. Do I want to do it one more round?
And when you kind of look at him, it does look like he is waiting for like your move before he makes his call. He's taking advantage of all of your slip ups, as it were.
Yeah, I need to get in the ring more. I'm getting too rusty. We better call this off before it gets too serious. This is your win this time.
Alright, old man.
Hopefully I at least scratched a little bit of that itch.
Some of it. Try not to, the least I can do is walk you to your next drink.
Oh, I'm in control. I might heal a little bit before that, but I shouldn't lose it. And I'll walk up and I'll put my hand out.
He kind of rolls his neck a little bit to try and shoo off some of that aggressive edge. As it looked like he was definitely having fun.
Oh yeah,
And
I was too. I just don't want to.
you don't want to
We
spend
start.
days recovering. Yep.
Yeah, where I want to. I want that. That fight has to mean something for me to push myself.
Yeah, to push it to that level.
Yeah.
This was just a sparring match. Nothing a good drink couldn't fix.
Yes.
And
But I'll
he
walk up and I'll put my hand out.
and he takes your hand with his, and he's got that very, very firm grip in those very spindly, sort of claw-like hands. He just kind of grins and kind of straightens up his beat up jacket a little bit and climbs out of the pit.
Yeah. Kane will go and he'll kind of almost look a little effortless. He'll just go and he'll just kind of like he's just doing a stepping hop up, and he'll actually land on the lip with a. It looked a little more than just a little bit of ankle action.
Mm.
Because I'm going to use. I figure that's a good use of soaring leap. That's you can
Yep,
just
you can
make a little.
just make a jump from standing.
Yep.
No need to run and jump. You can just jump from standing up to about, given your potence level, probably a good 100 feet almost. Ooh. How many points of damage did you have in total?
4 superficial.
Okay. So you've recovered 3 at only the cost of 1 so far.
Yeah, I probably look like I got a little bit of bruising or cut or something.
Yeah.
Reach in my mouth and pull out one of the teeth that got dislodged as I'm walking over back to Anna, and I'll walk over to the water fountain, wash the VtM off of it. I'll just hold it out to Anna. Want a souvenir?
She actually steps back from Kane when he puts his hand up.
He'll just start laughing and toss it over his shoulder. I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
She doesn't really let her eyes stop from staring him down.
So what did you think of your first fight, Witness? Granted, we were just playing around.
I was playing around.
Yeah, we stopped before we got too serious. Got too into it.
That is the power of the La Sombra and the La Nosferatu. When those two clash, buildings fall.
And the kind of, like, while he still has his potence up, to kind of, like, emphasize that, he'll, like, reach up to the top of the corner of the, like, concrete around, and he'll just kind of, like, pinch off, and break off a part of it, and then, like, crush it to gravel in his hand.
And Colette just kind of looks at you, Anna.
I think it's dangerous.
Of course it is.
I'm wondering when the day's gonna be that you can't call it off before it gets too serious.
Well,
You run. You don't stick around, you run. When that happens.
you'll notice if that ever goes, it's a little different, too. I won't just be having fun. I'll be playing for keeps. And I'll probably do some things that you, wouldn't want to see or expect.
You've driven round the point. I don't think I'm really cut out for this kind of environment.
Oh, well, you don't always have to fight. The question is, did you enjoy yourself? Fighting's not for everyone. Watching or participating.
I think you've done enough showboating, Mr. Tenebris.
Oh no, I just want to make sure she's comfortable. And hope that she's not scared of me now. Well,
I
it would be
think
hard not to be scared after that, but... Yeah, it's kind of a hard... I don't know what I mean. Trying not to scare her.
if that was your intention, you shouldn't have fought. And then Colette's gonna join with Fernando and start walking away.
If I could, Colette,
Mm.
I had some questions.
Oh, of course.
I just wanted a chance to talk with you a bit, so...
Yes. We could leave the gentlemen to take care of themselves for now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to go talk to a couple of my thin blood friends. Join me whenever you're ready to go.
And Anna joins Colette at another part of the area, the warehouse.
Mm-hmm. And she walks with you. She stays close.
Nana is like visibly just very drawn into herself.
Are you alright?
I'm in a coterie with him.
Yes, you
I
are.
think I just realized how much more dangerous my situation is. And I think I agree with you. Rather than fighting, I'd much prefer to just figure out how to talk things out.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm not familiar with you, so I do apologize. You must be rather new.
Yes. I and my sire come from outside the city.
Ha. Then
We're
you
from
and I share
Portland.
something in common. I too am not from this city. So perhaps there's some camaraderie there. But talking things out works so well until you run into those who do not wish to talk.
How often is that?
As often as a kindred frenzies.
Often enough.
Often enough. The question you should be asking yourself is, how do I have a fallback? What is your fallback? What is your safe place? What is your method of escape should he turn on you?
As of right now, tradition.
Again, tradition only helps in situations where you have control of one's faculties and an understanding between yourselves about the traditions of the Camarilla.
Right. I guess I otherwise don't have a fallback plan, and that's the part that scares me the most.
As it should. Fernando is a dangerous individual, as is Mr. Tenebris. I treat both of them with the same kind of respect. But with a few tricks of my own, and you see that there's almost a sort of flick of her wrist and a sort of not really much of a show. It's just a little spark of like this sort of liquid as she pricks her finger for a moment. I have my own ways of dealing with him should he turn on me.
I see.
As I'm sure you have your own special set of skills, unique to you and your clan.
Yeah, right now, I guess the best thing that I can do at the moment is just stay out of the way. And like you said, know when to run.
Exactly. Because there is no fending yourself from him. There is only running. Even with my unique capabilities, it is only a delay.
I have a bit of an odd question, Colette.
I can answer questions.
You seem very capable. I can't help but get the idea that you don't just know your way around the city, you know your way about, I guess, time is a good way to put it.
As
You've
I
been
should.
around.
Close to 30 years embraced.
So,
Or is it 40 now? I've lost track of time. It's been a hell during this last decade.
Nana tilts her head at this. How so?
I have fought in 2 wars and lost both.
Huh. I'm terribly sorry.
So am I. I've lost a lot of good friends. I hope to make a new one in you.
Nana kind of lights up at that a bit. That actually sounds lovely. I'm still really figuring things out, but because I'm part of Dead Man's Hands, I'm in a really
Awkward
Really?
position.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But I see that in a lot of ways, it seems like the kindred around here, the reclaimed, I guess is the word. A lot of them seem like they need help.
A lot of them are simply rejects. myself included.
You're a veteran, though.
That doesn't mean anything. I have failed on my directives and thus am suffering the punishment. And I have failed in more than just 2 ways. So perhaps it is deserved. This is my judgment. And until I can forgive myself, this is where I will be.
I see. Then... well, maybe it's a bit presumptuous at this point, but... maybe I can help you.
If there is a way that you can help me forgive myself, I would be happy to hear it. Although, I haven't done so in a decade, so I don't know what more insight you could provide me. But I am
That's
willing to
fair.
hear you out.
I think that's best left a conversation for the future. Right now, I don't know.
Your mind is not clear enough to be able to be insightful tonight?
I've got a lot of things on it. But I appreciate your perspectives.
Well, if I can provide you with a unique perspective, then I shall do so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anna will put out her hand properly for a handshake. And maybe, perhaps if she's looking, Colette will see that she's got a slight shake to it. Anxiousness.
Do you need an escort home?
At the moment, I don't think I will. He seems in faculties. So,
Should that change? And she kind of, with that same sort of prick that she did in her finger, she takes your hand and draws in the blood, not much to really call any kind of any kind of a hunger check or anything like that, but just draws a symbol on your hand with it. Paint that somewhere nearby, and I will come.
I don't understand how that does so, but that's what's needed.
Silent communication. It is something you will find very useful when you can't use a phone. And I'm guessing that your phone hasn't worked in the entire time that you've been in the presence of Mr. Denibers.
I honestly haven't checked. I'm not exactly, well, I haven't been using it in general. I find it's a little bit too troublesome.
That is a good practice in general.
Nana will smirk. I'll call you if I need anything, Colette.
Of course, Miss Anna.
And with that, she'll actually give like a courteous little bow with her dress.
And Colette will
And-
bow deeper as a sign of respect.
And we'll go ahead and return back to Kane and the Thin Bloods.
All right. So, Kane, you have walked up to Danny and Monty, who seem to have been very impressed with the fight. What's up, boss?
Hey, boys. How goes it?
Fine. Quite a show.
Yeah, I'm getting rusty. I need to get in here more often. Put some work in.
Well, it's not like working out's gonna make any difference.
Yeah, but finding technique, any wasted movement you can cut out makes you that bit faster.
That's
Make
true.
all the difference.
Ain't that the truth?
How are you two holding up? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just wondering if you needed anything, because, there's not a whole lot going on here tonight.
I just wanted to come and see people. Put out, get out there. See, you were at Elysium, so you heard.
Yeah.
See how people are feeling. See what people are needing. Try to get the pulse of the area. See what we need. I've met a couple people that put the word out.
It just seems kind of weird that you're being this proactive. I mean, I guess because there's 4 of you, that things are just gonna be more proactive just by the nature of it, but I don't know.
It's also a shift in doctrine. We don't think like the person that ran this before. So we're definitely not going to run it like they did. I'd rather know about shit and get ahead of it.
I mean, she knew shit, but like...
We also might care a bit more. At least I know I do, but I can't speak for the rest.
I don't know.
Me, I've always tried to look out for my people.
Yeah, but even the fact that you associate with us at all is looked down upon by most of the capes, right?
That is their problem. When it becomes my problem for trying to do things, we'll deal with it, but I'm sure as hell not going to change how I am. I don't care who you guys are or what you guys are. It's what you do. Those of you who stand up, some are even loyal, could be loyal. And anybody that's... How do I say this without sounding like a condescending act? Anybody underneath me I try to take care of. Not that I own you guys or... But...
I mean, the Camarilla basically does, so you're not the only one.
Well, I don't see it like that.
Yeah, they say that. Until they don't. So, it's... Look, boss, I get it. You're different. But that's bound to change. Because somebody else is gonna somebody else is going to come in here in the permanent basis, and you know, it's going to be different every time.
Oh, I can't change that. I can't exactly run everything. But if I can do something while I'm here, maybe make some things easier. You know, maybe I can set you guys up to be in a better place under someone else. If we do good enough, hell, they might even appoint us to keep on it. It's probably not.
You want that?
It's not going to change what I do on the daily very much.
Yeah, it does, because it means you're going to be in meetings and shit. Unreachable.
Well, if I'm ever at the point where I can't make it myself, I'll make sure there's someone that you can get in touch with. I don't exactly intend to ghost everybody. Besides, I don't think all of us need to be at every meeting. Division of labor.
Actually, we do.
Oh, they want us all. Well, we'll have to work with it. We're still figuring this shit out.
Yeah. By the time you guys get figured out, somebody else is going to get in here and going to be moving in, so I'm not going to hold my breath.
All I'm saying is, if we can, I'd like to strike while the iron's hot. While we have the power. See what people need. Talk to your friends. Talk to anybody that you know, anybody you trust. Get the word around. Tell them to come to me.
And if we think of something, then we'll let you know.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to change the world here. But if I can help while I can. Like I said, I try to look out for people. If I look out for you, you look out for me. It's kind of the way the world works.
Quid pro quo.
Well, you either do something to get something, or you do something because you want to. And I kind of like doing it for both. Kind of a two birds, one stone. I like helping you all out. And if
Yeah, well,
it builds a friendship or a relationship along the way, hell, that's just a bonus.
gotta do what we gotta do, and we gotta live with what we gotta live with. See, this ain't no fucking... Never mind.
That's one thing you never have to worry about me. Speak your piece if you want to.
No, because if I do, then the sheriff's gonna get wind of it, and I don't want to...
Is they putting too much pressure on everybody?
No, you start talking like you want to leave, and he start accusing you of being anarchs, and then... Well... A purge happens. So no, I don't want to lose my head. You're not... I didn't say anything. Just so that we're clear.
I didn't hear anything.
She did.
I'm sorry, Anna, did you hear anything?
I'm listening. That doesn't mean I'm saying anything. I don't have a reason to.
Can we even trust her?
She's a member of my coterie. We're in this together. And if it comes down to it, if I have to, you know I like you boys. I'll do whatever I can. If you ever need anything, come to me. I'll do what I can.
Yeah, you've said that like 5 times now. And like I said, if we think of something, we'll let you know.
Forgive me for repeating myself. I'm, according to, Frederico, or what was it, Francesco? Or what? Who did I just fight?
Fernando.
Fernando. Well, according to Fernando, it might just be my old age. But yeah, just keep your ears, if anything happens, let me know. You know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah. Alright, get out of here.
Yes, sir. And I'll snap too and, like, go on almost like a full attention. Nah, I'm just fucking around. Alright, you guys have a good night. I'm going to go get something to eat.
Alright.
Good night, Danny. Good night, Monty.
They both kind of wave.
Anna will wave back and follow behind Kane, kind of keeping a very distinct distance.
Hmm.
When I get to the car and I open the door for her and I look at how far back she is. Oh, fuck. I did scare you. I'm sorry.
You're still hungry, Kane.
It's manageable. And...
Could always eat her. She's a shrimp.
Shut up. As cute as you are, you're not usually what I try to eat.
She's barely skin and bones, but she got blood.
And you know, we don't work like that. As much as you want to try to change my mind.
Oh, what would it hurt? Except for her.
You might not give a shit, but I tried. Maybe a day when we start thinking more alike, but sure as hell ain't gonna be now. I'll give you a little bit of peace and quiet and we'll get something to eat in a minute. Anna, the only thing I can tell you is, yes, I may be scary and strong. But that scariness and strongness right now, we're a coterie. That's on your side. As long as you don't threaten the things that I care about or want to protect, you don't have anything to be scared of me from. If I ever do start getting to the point where I might be a danger, I remove myself usually anyways. I don't like to throw this power at something that doesn't deserve it. I never liked that in my mortal life either.
But he just did. A pointless fight, that's what she called it.
That's nice, Kane. And I trust you do what you can. But ultimately, we're all of us have to answer to the beast.
Yes. Some people might have thought what we did tonight was stupid. But we stopped before it got serious and before we could have lost control. I heard her say that it was pointless. And while there wasn't much to be gained, there was still some. He got to let out some aggression that's been pent up. than end up losing it somewhere else. I get to hone skills that I haven't used in a while. And to be honest, those of us that used to fight like that, there's also some fun to be had. Like I said, it's not for everyone. We may just be built and wired different. Hell, might even be wrong. But it was not. I would never take a fight that was truly pointless.
Kinda doesn't really reply to that. But she does instead just go ahead and climb into the vehicle.
Kane will get in and he'll kind of like take the phone, open it to the Spotify, and hand the phone to Anna. Okay, you get the DJ the way back. And he'll head back towards the coterie house and to drop her off and then go out for a hunt.
All right. Another hunt it is. We'll come back to that in a moment. Let's find out what Shriek's been up to. Shriek, you were going to do some rounds, weren't you?
Absolutely.
To a very particular storage facility, if I remember correctly.
It's almost becoming a second home since we ended up moving in. Gonna have to do something about the decor.
Yeah. He's not exactly the most, how should I put it? It's not the sprucest of places. He's not exactly fashionable like you.
Well, hard to end up near reaching the peak of the mountain when you aren't climbing. Nevertheless, I think it's just absolutely wretched that I have to end up making these rounds in the first place. But my work is never done.
I mean, there's always animals and other retainers that you could possess to maybe take the load off of yourself at some point.
I could, but
that requires talking to animals and maybe making a fool of it look of yourself.
Mostly at this point, I'm just trying to end up keeping my bases covered. I'm sure that Kane and Anna are having an absolute wonderful time watching two beefcakes beating each other to death and just reveling in it. I'm sure that it's a heart-stopping moment with the cheers of dozens while everybody ends up trying to end up throwing dollar bills like as if they were hucking them at stripper poles.
Maybe.
But right now, I need to end up talking to one Singleton.
Yes. Raphael Singleton. He can be found at the storage facility where you saw him last. And immediately recognizes that it's you and tells you to stay outside. He will join you outside instead.
Fabulous. I'll be acquiescing to that request.
And as soon as he does, then he kind of just looks at you. What do you want?
Join me for a short jaunt. Wouldn't want to end up seeing anything untoward happen to your wonderful storage facility.
No, of course not.
I start, walking and wait for Mr. Singleton to catch up.
He doesn't have a hard time following you along.
Raphael. Can I call you Raphael?
Sure.
Raphael, I am currently perplexed. You're, well, a hound assigned to where all the ruffians are. Tells me that you have some ties to this place, but it seems like almost like this isn't your natural forte.
What makes you say that?
Well, first and foremost, storage facility and spending your nights there doesn't seem like the way that I would expect of a blue blood. Take Miss Coppin, for example, who very much keeps prim, proper, and outside of certain situations that we don't need to go over right now, there is an air about it. You, on the other hand, seem misplaced, and yet you ended up operating for quite some time under the previous primogen.
Yeah, because it's not unusual for one to find their own niche.
But
my niche just tends to lean more towards breaking kneecaps.
An enforcement that is required in these nights, and I have no doubt that you were probably just all kinds of fun during the purge.
Your point?
My point being is that you've been here for a lot longer than anybody I know. Unless I'm mistaken, you and the primogen probably were getting along well enough that she entrusted the keys, quite literally, to you.
Yes.
Tells me you got along like aces.
As well as one should.
That's exactly my point. Exactly my point. Like one should. But that means you probably have the most insight onto how she managed to maintain her domain in the first place.
Oh, I see. I see what's going on here. You're looking for the user manual.
And your responsibility is to make sure that this domain doesn't fall to pieces.
My responsibility is to uphold the traditions.
Which domain falls under those? Now, I'm not here to end up rattling any cages tonight. We can end up doing that later if you want. But I wanted to end up being able to end up spending the time to end up, like you said, flipping through the user manual.
What do you want to know? And I'm sure this is going to come at a cost. And you know, it's not exactly my job to tell you how to do your job.
I can do my job just fine. The problem is if I were to just impose it without knowing what I'm stumbling into, it might cause some unforeseen consequences. Of which that causes ripples, in which case that causes problems, potentially masquerade breaching, and
nobody wants that.
This whole thing could have been avoided if I just decide to stop and speak to my elders and heed their wisdom. That's how this whole shtick goes, right?
Usually.
Well, you don't want your job to be any harder than it has to be.
Exactly.
I think you... So we have a mutual interest there, don't we?
We do.
Hmm.
Ask your questions.
I'm going to presume that the Primogen was not exactly hands-on. I'm getting the impression that they operated through agents, keeping a certain profile away. Doesn't exactly strike me as the type to end up saying, "Behold my people." In fact, I think for most, they would end up rather not associating with Thin Bloods, Caitiffs, Brujah, Gangrel, and God knows what else is deciding to end up sleeping in this maggot-infested mattress. So,
Well, I can definitely tell you that that was exactly her personality type, but I wouldn't say that she wasn't hands-on.
but
She was doing her job and addressing everything that needed to be addressed. Just,
most commonly being.
well, when somebody acted up, in which case she would call me.
So she was a middleman for
I suppose? What are you getting at?
that.
Look, Brocado is probably dead somewhere. I'd rather not besmirch her name.
And neither am I. In fact, I'm trying to do quite the opposite. I'm trying to end up working under a simple presumption that she'll probably come back. Maybe in 5 years, maybe in 5 months, maybe in 5 decades. But when she comes back, I would like not to be on the bad side of that.
Yeah, well, good luck, because the entirety of the Camarilla does not like this domain. It's here in Arlington for a reason.
So, let's start from the top then. I'm presuming that this domain would probably have some degree of kickbacks going to particular parties. Would you happen to know? Or is it just the try to keep the rabble quiet?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Mostly column B. This isn't exactly the most profitable domain, if you had noticed. It's primarily made up of houses and residences. It's kind of blood rich, but it's not exactly money drawing.
Yours being one of the exceptions as far as businesses go.
I run a business, and it does well for personal finances.
But not enough to end up making the domain grow much larger.
Have you looked at Arlington?
I'm looking at Arlington. And I'm seeing stuff that most, I think, won't notice.
This is the suburbs, kid.
That's right.
You've got
That's
pretty
exactly-
houses for people who make the money in Dallas or Fort Worth, come home to Arlington to lay down their head. Otherwise, it is a money sink.
What we have is a reach for all across the city.
Being in the middle of town, being in the middle of the both, kind of gives you that advantage, yeah.
It's because everybody leaves to go to work. There's no industry. There's no reason to come here. It's a one-way track.
Mm-hmm. Again, suburbs. It's kind of the purpose.
An advantage. One that I think a man of your proclivities might find interesting. Unless I misjudged. Sorry, I'm used to end up here having to adhere with another blue blood. So, maybe that's my fault, on the assumption.
Talking about Kaufman, like you mentioned before.
Kind of stands out like a sore thumb in this neighborhood, doesn't she?
Not exactly.
He kind of quirks an eyebrow at that.
Sure, she's pretty. Sure, she's talented. She's got history.
Yes, I didn't want to go into the details of that little bit of baggage.
I already know. I have to know.
And you notice I didn't bring it up, nevertheless.
Now, why is that, Shriek? Why would you?
Because I'm led to believe that most clans tend to be insular. Mine is. So
insular to a point.
Together. So you tend to stick together. I have no doubt that you will assist Miss Kaufman in all of her needs that she'll end up needing across the entire spectrum. My job is to end up looking over the entirety of the domain and to figure out how the hell do we end up keeping kindred not only from slaughtering each other, but being able to, oh, I don't know, make it so that the prince actually turns an eye here once in a while in good favor. Making your job a little bit easier in the process, but I guess that's not of a high concern.
Do you always make snap judgments about people?
Makes things easier.
No, you're trying to get a rise.
If I was trying to get a rise, it wouldn't be up for negotiation.
No, but you push buttons.
I do. And I do it very well.
So, let's not try and make assumptions about me one way or the other, and I won't make assumptions about you. Got it?
Gotta start somewhere. And when I'm proven wrong, fantastic. So, let's...
Because what you're trying to do is get me to get combative.
No, quite the opposite. I'm trying to end up illustrating that we are playing for the same team.
We are playing for the same team.
Does this conversation feel like that?
I don't know how to feel. Because...
I do that to people.
Exactly.
So...
You're either going to be a problem for me, or you're going to work with me. That's as simple as it gets.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
You can't be both.
He kind of just smiles, looking at Raphael. How long has he been embraced, I wonder? Still. Kickbacks.
The usual, like any other domain.
Blood, money.
What can be spared, at least.
For that, we need a surplus, right?
Yeah, there's a bit of a surplus that goes on from time to time. It's not like the tax on this place is exactly very high. It's actually surprisingly good feeding. People here have it surprisingly well given their clan.
Given their stature.
Given their statuses, yes.
That's so good to hear. At least I don't have to worry too much about people losing it in the middle of the street trying to end up feeding.
With this threat of the Second Inquisition, it's got to be that way.
Absolutely.
So you won't find a shortage of being able to feed here.
So what will I find a shortage of?
Well, like I said, industry. There isn't any industry here, really. You have your minimum wage jobs. That's about it. And if anything wants to grow here, it's probably not going to. It's going to go to Dallas. It's going to go to Fort Worth. Anything worth its salt is not going to come to Arlington. So don't even bother.
Excellent. So,
what people need around here is just stay quiet.
Know your place and hurry up and wait.
Exactly.
And that's how you want to end up keeping it.
It's worked so far. With no shortage of being able to feed and no shortage of being able to sleep, everyone should be fine.
Should be.
Well, unless they're causing a problem for themselves.
Oh, I don't suspect that'll happen.
Good.
But I'm sure you want to be on the inside track. So, with that being said, Trick kind of pulls out a little something, looks over it, like he's reading it attentively, then looks back to this little card, then looks back to Mr. Singleton, and then stuffs it back in his pocket. Outside of me keeping things quiet and not being too intrusive on your own pristine storage space, what can I do for you? Given on how we ended up getting off on such a rocky start, I don't want to end up seeing it exaggerated or exasperated any further than it has to be.
You're exasperating. I think that's unavoidable.
I try.
It's not cute.
You want me to be? Just say the word, lover.
You were going to be the end of us all.
Hope not. But
I wouldn't be surprised. But, that being said, what you can do for me is, if it can't be handled on its own, that you call me.
I believe I already have your card.
Yes, you do. So, if, and I do mean if, anyone does cause a problem, I'm the first to know of it. Good.
Absolutely.
Because I would rather not get the sheriff involved if I don't have to. That's kind of what,
I'm sure.
That's kind of what he appointed me for.
I'd like to roll a wits insight.
Okay.
Sure. sure he doesn't want the sheriff involved, but for some odd reason, I gained this little thought that the reason he doesn't want the sheriff here is because he's not completely on the up and up himself. Nope. I got 1 success out of 5.
You can't succeed at cost.
Couldn't afford it even if I wanted to.
You haven't even heard the cost yet. What if you think if it's too rich?
No, I think I'll hold off right now. I might have a suspicion, but no, he doesn't have a tell. He doesn't have anything going.
Nope.
As expected, hardline venture and all.
He is very composed. He's hard to read. That much is kind of obvious given his clan, like you said. So, purposefully hard to read is kind of their thing.
I start pouting a little bit. I wouldn't want to end up in danger in your good times. And then Shriek's face becomes incredibly serious. Understand me, Raphael. I am here to serve the Camarilla and its interests. That's a job I take incredibly seriously at this point. So.
And he leans in with an equally serious face. So do I.
With that in mind, if you're not going to guide me to the user's manual, is there at least a place I can get a bird's eye view onto what's going on here? Just so I stop interrupting your time counting boxes.
Look. We don't have to like each other. We do have to work together.
That's right.
I am not unreasonable.
So give me an olive branch to work with.
You originally said that you wanted to know about troublemakers. Well, troublemakers are few and far between because they don't pop their heads out in there very often.
Well, more accurately, Warzi took their head off. En masse, in fact.
Exactly.
So what are the concerns I need to be looking for right now? Because if I'm going into court to represent this domain, which I'm sure is a stick in your craw right now, but the fact that I'm doing it, I'd like to not go unarmed, especially if it's going to start reflecting badly on the loyal members of the Camarilla in this particular here domain. I'm trying, Mr. Singleton.
There are oddities in this domain. Specifically, a Bruja. He appeared out of nowhere. Says he's from Canada. I don't like it. Nobody just appears out of nowhere. But he's been granted clemency in the Camarilla, and I need to know why. I'm not allowed to touch him.
Of course. Now, was that so bad?
You make it like pulling teeth.
You could have just answered right out of the gate. Shriek puts his hand up. Let me try that again. I appreciate your cooperation, Raphael. And I'll look into the matter. Do you have a name?
Gerard.
Gerard. Well, I'll have to look in to see who this toothpick is.
He's got a strange, funny accent. I can believe that he's foreign. But something about it just doesn't smell right.
We'll have to end up seeing what your intuition's worth. I look forward to putting it to the test. Thank you so much, Raphael. And it gives me something to end up focusing on, which means I'm out of your hair. If anything interesting pops up, you'll be the first one I call.
Thank you.
And if I have to end up, and if I must say, at that exact moment, the effort is very appreciated.
You're pushing your luck.
Well, can't say neither one of us tried. I'll look into this Gerard. And with that, Shriek stops, turns. I think you should also end up knowing, just for briefly a point of interest. There's going to be a few unexpected faces, mortals, that'll be dropping by in Arlington. If they happen to be swinging by, I'll let you know. But I've already heard that there's some visitors coming in. They're coming in from, well, they've been driving quite a ways. I'll just say that. If I get more information, I'll let you know. But it should give you at least an idea that something might be there, might not be.
Well, in that we have a mutual trait then.
It's what I do best, Raphael.
I know.
I'm hoping to do this here more on the regular and more kinder approaches. Maybe next time you can wine and dine me. Toodles!
He just kind of rolls his eyes and shakes his head.
Raphael. A creature that is all business, no fun. Still, it doesn't much matter to me. I am curious, though. If I get under his skin that badly, why is it that this Bruja, Gerard, ended up getting under his skin, too? Says he doesn't like it. Maybe I found a new bunk buddy.
Perhaps indeed. So, what are you all doing next?
Well, I'm going to end up going back to Haven. I'm gonna also think about it if I recall any murmurs about a strange brewha named Gerard. I mean,
It's come up a couple times
Kindred.
before.
Kindred coming up in from parts unknown
Mm-hmm.
gives me a starting place at least. Three successes, better than I've been rolling all night.
I believe that this is probably more than once that you've heard that name amongst people who have talked about a strange brewha. The things that you would have heard about the murmurs about him is, like Raphael said, he appeared out of nowhere. No one seems to know how he got here, or what his mode of transportation was. He didn't make any announcements. He just kind of showed up in the city one day, and was presented to the prince. Was told that he was going to stay here in Arlington, and that's really kind of where the trail ends, because then what you would expect out of a kindred's life in a city where they're trying to lay low, he's kind of not made any ripples. He's so far
Behaving.
So far as you understand, he's behaving as a good brewha should in the Camarilla.
Yeah. Yeah. When the bull in the china shop is not breaking everything in sight, I'm gonna tell you that bitch be tranquilized. Now I gotta figure out who's doing the trank darts. Maybe they'll hit me up with the good shit.
Or maybe they neutered him so bad that he just doesn't have any fight left.
Bruja with any fight left. And that'll end up meaning that I'll finally have a can of Raid that f***ing works.
But as far as you know, he hasn't really made appearances in court, has really not seemed to have any interest in doing so. He's just been kind of focusing in on Arlington. He doesn't really venture forth to Dallas or to Fort Worth very much. Kind of another rumor from another point is that he's kind of the local go-between between the court and the rest of the reclaimed, as they're called. They don't want to have to deal with the court. He doesn't want to have to deal with the court either. So he used to just go to the Primogen on their behalf, and then the Primogen would carry things on from there. In the short time that he's been here, which has only been a couple of years.
Doesn't that just give me a fascinating project? And Coffee, I think now might actually be a good time to call it.
Okay.
Or get to final scene.
Yep. Well, yeah, that I guess is a good place to call it, because we don't have much else to go on from here. So you have a little project. Anna and Kane are heading back from having witnessed and participated in a fight, and I think that's a good place.
Yeah, I can take up feeding next season or next session.
Yeah,
as long as I get to go before I go to bed.
Yeah, we can. Well,
we can handle that off screen real quick if you want.
Yeah, go ahead and make a quick feeding roll, and because I haven't decided whether it's going to be a new night or not.
Okay.
But if it isn't going to be a new night, you're going to have relatively short amount of time next time to do anything. It's going to be only a couple hours before sunrise.
Ooh,
Do you want a willpower?
I only have one left, and I'm kind of... Well, if it's going to be... it's going to be a new night, I'll be okay. But if it's not, I'm going to be a little edgy.
That's your choice.
Yeah, I'll willpower it.
All right.
So I get 2 dice. I can't really see that for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Again, another criminal. Middle of the morning. Looks like he's walking out with a case of beer that he just seemed to rip off of a convenience store. You tackle him into an alley, and you get your feed.
At this point, tackling people in alleys, I just would be like, oh, Batman.
Kind of. That is, you are an alley cat. You spot them in an alley and you pounce.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll do it for this session, and so we'll continue where we left off, either a new night or the same night. I haven't decided yet. Next time on Blood and Iron. So now let's get on to some experience. I don't think there's any stains that anybody's incurred, have they? I don't think so, because I nothing sticks out to me. So, then we talk about willpower, or not willpower. Well, yeah, if you recovered willpower, you can do so with.
Oh yeah, well I get one back.
Yeah, if you get one back, you get one back.
Yep.
You know.
So I traded it and I got it right back, so we're good.
Hey, Lamau. And then we have experience to talk about. So, first of all, everybody gets one for coming to the table.
Hooray!
Hooray! And after that, we have 3 roleplay prompts that the players themselves vote on, whether the who pushed the plot the furthest, who had the best scene, who had the best line, and then that last piece of experience goes to the audience, in which you all decide who your favorite arbitrarily is for tonight, so that you can have a hand in controlling the progression of these fine kindred. So, I'm going to get the poll started. So, who moved plot?
Oh. I got up to use the restroom and I forgot to turn my camera back on.
Ha!
I'm sorry.
I would say plot mover is probably Shriek on this one, because Shriek definitely has a lot of leads going. Actually trying to develop the domain.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on between all of you, really.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it to Kane. Kane was the one trying to lay groundwork.
We're both kind of coming at it from the different angles, but we're both working the same, so.
That's a good point.
I'm trying to get the shit to give him ammunition to do the the moves. I'm more of a street level man.
Between all of you, Shriek and Alexandra are probably the 2 that have the biggest sort of swinging dicks when it comes to the politics.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and I'll vote for myself with Derek.
All right. So it's 2 for Kane. All right. Kane gets it for plot mover. Who had our best scene?
Anna, specifically the early feeding scene.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah. I can go for that.
All right, Anna it is.
I will graciously take it. Thank you.
Best line.
I'm gonna say Shriek, but I'm trying to end up thinking specifically. I think it was hilarious more than anything when it went from adversarial to it's like, well, if you need a boy toy on the side.
Raphael. Raphael ain't
Poor
biting.
man's
He ain't biting on that one. He doesn't want to touch that with a
Raphael.
10-foot pole.
Smartest
You get-
movies.
Dude gets whiplash talking to Shriek, and I love it.
He does. It's like he doesn't know how to deal with him.
I'm willing.
Mostly because I don't know how to deal with him.
I very staunchly want to say that their conversation and just the constant banter is definitely one of my favorite scenes tonight. It's just like water and oil, dude. It's so
They don't
funny.
mix.
I do want to vote for that, but there's an honorable mention, I think, for Kane.
Hmm.
When he got real serious and told him, is like, if you get into shit, you got my number, call me. And and Shriek didn't know what to do with that. Like,
Wasn't
I
it?
want to be. I don't know if it was like because he doesn't know if he's being serious or if he doesn't believe him or if he's touched, but it caused Shriek to short circuit for a moment, and Kane doesn't know how to react to that, and I thought it was just fun to get that kind of reaction.
If you understood what it was that is specifically that caused Shriek to
I don't know.
short-circuit-
I don't know what part about that did. So
No, that's kind of the point, right? Just to keep it a little bit ambiguous, but no, there's one Shriekism that I ended up enjoying, which was walks in, sees Kane reading a book, and Shriek's immediate reaction is, "Don't eat that."
I liked my retort of, "Have you ever tried to absorb text through high velocity?"
Not text.
God.
Tell you, these guys are gay for each other.
Well, I'm sure Kane could put a pounding on him in more ways than one.
Don't ship
Honey,
it.
I ain't no bottom bitch.
Don't ship it. Shippers ruin lives. I should know.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm closer to shipping Shriek and Raphael right now.
Oh, I'm definitely not trying for that ship. For Kane and Shriek, as funny as it would be.
I don't even think it's the ship that makes Spectre smile. It's the fact that Raphael is slowly losing his fucking mind.
Bro, you break me every time.
Well, at least it's happening.
Shriek in any NPC that I try to play versus you, I'm like, I don't even know how to handle this.
Okay, Coffee. Guess what? Now you know how I felt when I was playing Kenny. Welcome to my world
Because
now.
Dana was short circuit Kenny all of the time.
Because, like, I couldn't just be myself and snap back because that wasn't Kenny. So I had to think in his headspace and try to, if sometimes he would retort, but it would be a little bit more thoughtful and stuff. I mean, instead of just clapping back and.
Yeah, the Raphael is more like leather jacket combat boots Ventru than he is boardroom suit wearing Ventru. But yeah, Shriek, you get the audience favorite for today. But who had our best line? What did we have to decide on?
I think those two were voting for Shriek. So.
Shriek. Mm-hmm. All right, Shriek it is. All right. There was a lot of Shriek wins today, so gotta love it.
Coffee, real quick. I still get the experience for last week, even though I didn't finish the episode.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
you got the base experience, I think, and then that's.
I would like to spend 7 experience.
Ooh, what you getting, Big Spender?
Because of my feeding type, I am going to end up taking all specs 1 heightened senses.
Ooh. Heightened senses. You said that's because of your feeding type?
Yep.
Okay, and you've already got the resonance and everything like that?
Well, actually, we didn't roll for resonance on the feeding type, so... Or during the feed last time, so...
Oh.
Guess that's up to that. My presumption is that just kind of comes in by default because it's the natural feeding, but...
Yeah.
That's ST's call.
I will waive it for the first dot, but you would need to get your resonance matchup for any additional dots.
Makes sense. Okay.
Because it's kind of one of those things that just triggered.
Yeah.
So.
Well, or maybe he just hasn't had a reason to use it just yet.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But heightened senses is a fun one. I like heightened senses, and that's also it's also a pretty on point for Shriek for how he goes about things. He's a listener. He listens in on things, and that's how he gains the knowledge he gets, and that's how he kind of works it back in.
That's one of his many methods. I got a few others I will be working on.
Yes. And Woden, to answer your question, yes, there are specific feeding styles. Shriek, for instance, sneaks into homes and feeds on those who are sleeping. It's called Sandman, and as a result, he gets the discipline aspects, which usually isn't available to Nosferatu, but in this case, he would be sipping on enough of the required resonance for that discipline that it could spontaneously trigger.
Yeah, each different type has its own.
Yep, each feeding style has its different.
Yep,
it has its own disciplines that are kind of associated with it. So I'm being a little hand wavy with Derek when it comes to the aspects, because he's been sipping on this long enough. He's been 15 years embraced that it's bound to have happened at some point. So it's just required the expenditure. So there you are. Yep. And thank you, Maddie, for having rated us, and know that Maddie's doing a lot of VTM workshops this week, so definitely wanted to shout him out because he rated us because he's doing all of that VTM stuff too. And there's a kitty. No.
I loved how in the beginning of the episode, while Derek's trying to give his little monologue, the cat instantly up head tries to go in mouth while it's moving.
Of course, he indulges her when he's not talking as well.
Head goes here now.
Head go here. Head go here. Nom on me. Nom on my head. But yes, thank you guys so much for playing, and I look forward to the next episode of Blood and Iron. Hope you all have been enjoying playing, and I hope you all in the audience have been enjoying watching. And if you would like to see more, or you've missed an episode, ! YouTube, and you can find the in the chat, and you can find the list of the YouTube VODs. It's my YouTube channel. And if you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to or followed here on Twitch, twitch.tv/CoffeeCat Presents. And of course, we do have other streamers who are doing some stuff. So, Derek, what you got coming up this week?
Well, we're going to end up continuing on with Drawing on the Macabre, happening tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. And until then, I am going to continue biting this cat's head.
Nom, 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 nom. Eventually, Fat Guy will get back to streaming one day.
Yeah, by the end, I'm hoping within the next week or two.
Okay.
I've just finished, I got a second desk I put together. I have to do some computer upgrades,
Nice.
and then like rearrange my room a bit to accommodate, and then I have to rebuild all my scenes. So
So
it's just a little bit more logistics and stuff.
a little bit more
I
logistics.
definitely can't wait though, because I want to get back to streaming at least like 2 or 3 times a week,
Yeah.
just to have it's just fun. I'm going to try for like 2 days scheduled, and then maybe a bonus day here
Okay.
whenever I'm feeling like it.
Got anything in particular that you're wanting to stream, or are you gonna be varieties doing?
General, I think it's some general video games
Mm-hmm.
for variety stuff, and like maybe one day of that and one day of painting.
Ooh.
It's probably just going to depend on my mood
Okay. Okay.
until I figure out a schedule and see what people like.
Yeah.
It's what it like. I'm going to be doing one on camera, and whatever that, or doing them on camera. If people want to watch them, I'll do it on camera. If not, I'll do what the people want to see, and I'll do the other shit off camera. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. And then Spectre doesn't really stream all that much, but they definitely do a lot of art, and art
Yes.
is a thing that they do sometimes for fun and for money. So,
The drawings.
you got any cool projects that we can see in the Discord in the art share that will be coming up soon?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything outside of commissions that I've got going on. I have some character art for the games I'm playing right now that I'm working on, which is fun.
I still need to do a character art because I haven't gotten to it yet.
I'll go ahead and post those. And
I'm so far behind on everything. Hey, Lamau. But yeah, I definitely can understand the being behind on some things and then taking a while to do some things, because there's still a couple of hours that I owe Ravenstar for a second piece that I haven't finished yet. Yep.
Well, it's a good thing I don't have money to throw at you yet for the piece of Kurobe and Mori.
Please don't. Not right now. As much as I could use the money, please don't right now. I need to get these couple of things out from under my belt in order to get things, back to a point where I could do a commissions open thing. And so,
well, I'll have the money in like 2 weeks, and I'll throw it at you, and then we can schedule the time when you have it. If that way you at least get the money if you need it.
Fair enough. But let's find somebody to raid. Let me look at Twitch. What is going on Twitch? If somebody wants to guide the chat, they certainly can. If they want to guide the raid, you can certainly spend the channel points to do that. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of people on this late at night, so let's see if there's anyone else in the. I don't think there's anyone else in the vampire. Nope. I think there's anyone else in the vampire. Nope. No one else in the vampire category. We're the only ones.
I might have one. Let me see.
Woden Emery suggests Cap Corgi. Let's see what they're up to real quick. Who is Cap Corgi? Other planets. Escape from Tarkov. Okay. Well, we can.
Ooh, Escape from Tarkov.
Well,
that game. Ooh.
Well, let's go see what that's all about. So, just if I'm gonna post in the chat the raid emotes. So that you all have them ready. and we'll go say hi to Cap Corky. So, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Try not to die.